Hey, it's Juck. We are not bemoaning the noon kickoff. We are now owning it. It's a badge of honor. We're the lunatic fringe that defines our coach's legacy when it comes to this game. They don't get to define that outside the family. We're cut from a different cloth. We're Ohioans. He's got it all, man. He's even got the jaw. You know the jaw. You see that jaw, and you're just like, yeah, man, that's a dude. Do I want Michigan to beat Oklahoma? No way in hell. I don't know what world I'm living in. This is insane to me. And if you saw my outburst, I apologize. It's showtime now. All right, let's give it another shot as we came on earlier, and apparently the orientation was jacked up. There is a new setting that I guess you got to check. So you guys tell me now, is it normal? It's normal. This is better. Okay, fantastic. We're in business, man. I was all nervous. We're starting it off in a very rough way. That was a rough way to start, man. Rough. Adam, I saw your super chat, buddy. I did see your super chat. Thank you so much. Adam sent me before we signed off on the first one, a $4.99 super chat. Adam, I appreciate that so much. Some action in high school football. Definitely as we are cruising down here to the end, and things are getting interesting in the high school football world, and we will definitely talk about that this week. As we hopefully we'll have a couple days of celebration, and then we'll get into some high school football and some recruiting. We got a whole lot of questions that came in about recruiting that I want to get to, including one very big time recruit who's not being recruited by Ohio State, out of Akron, Ohio, but was just on the sidelines up north last week or a couple of weeks ago, which irked the heck out of me. I'm with M. Hornet. He's putting $2K on the Buckeyes money line. Now, that is a guy that is confident in his conviction. I love it. Ethan, thank you so much. I love this jersey. You're not going to believe what's on the back of this jersey, though, Ethan. Should I show you guys? I'm going to show you. All right, you ready? Now, you see the number on the front of the jersey, right? Let me pull this off. All right, see the number? Okay, that's the number on the front of the jersey. Wait till you see the name. This is a Sonny Styles, formerly Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs hybrid jersey with Downs on the back and Sonny's former number. Now, of course, he is the Black O. But yeah, not by design, by screw up, as I was putting in an order for several jerseys and screwed it up. Isn't that great? My man Dano, time to right the wrongs, return to normal. Order must be restored, guys. Order must be restored in the 121st edition of the game. And it's here. It's here. The second version of the game since I started this show. Last year had a distinctly different vibe here on the pregame than this one does. That's for sure. I tried to manufacture nerves for last year's game. I didn't have any. I didn't have any nerves last year. It was the first time in forever as a guy. I don't know. I've probably said this too many times this week, but I was 9 years old to 22 years old under the John Cooper era. And that's basically like, you know, when you think about your life, that's when everything's formed, 9 to 22, right? Like everything. And to me, this was just a game you usually lost and choked and things happened that went wrong, right? Obviously, my children from 25 to 18, they have a totally different thought process. These last 4 years to them have been like totally bewildering. In fact, they didn't even understand why this was such a rivalry. And kids in that era, they don't get it. They get it now. And maybe it had to happen. All that matters is today. That's it. We're looking for a little relief here. This can't go on. And I was talking on the earlier stream, you know, it's just, you lose this game and it is a 365-day sentence. And how are the nerves, my man? The nerves are ramped up to my fingertips for sure. Who was here from Thailand? We got a couple of buddies from the Thailand area, which is wild. It's pretty wild. Bring back the heritage stripes, indeed. Bring back the proper sleeves, man. I didn't ever think this would be possible, but I do believe that I will at one point be able to talk to Ross Bjork. Nobody's talked to him about this. I don't know why. This is on a list for me to talk. Like, there's not a lot of questions you can ask Ross Bjork. Most of the things you're going to ask him that are serious questions, you're not going to get a real answer anyway. I want to talk to him about the heritage stripe. I want to talk to him about the sleeves. I want to let him know the history. I want to let him know when this changed and why this changed, and just make him aware. There's only one guy that can change this at this point, and it's him. Nobody brings it up. It's something that I would like to bring up to him. Seriously. Also, in addition to that, I want to see the game played color on color. I want to see Michigan's Blues, Ohio State Scarlets on the field at the same time, like the USC game. I think that'd be awesome. So, no, I'm with you, Mike. You should never let a talented kid from Akron go to that team. They actually have two at Hoban, brothers, and they're both being recruited by Penn State, Oregon, Michigan, but we're not talking recruiting today. But I'm with you, man. I'm absolutely with you. Kernalingus 69 wants a vote. Is today better than Christmas morning? Brother, you and I experienced this morning drastically different. I hate today. This is not an enjoyable day. This is not an enjoyable process. This is not enjoyable for me until the clock hits zeros and the Buckeyes are on top. I am a basket case all day. I can't wait for this thing to come. By the time it hits the middle of the third quarter, if Ohio State has a slight lead, I feel like the game is taking 6 hours to play. It's not an enjoyable experience for me, not until it's over. That's for sure. Sue's got her lucky Jeremiah Smith #4 jersey on. Ethan's Lima Senior Spartans got killed by Huber Heights. Yeah. Huber Heights Wayne. They, of course, have a very special player. Terry asks, why do so many podcasts think Julian is going to crumble and will forget how to throw a football if it snows? Driving me nuts. Go Bucks. Julian, 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Have you guys seen, now we can't see these in Ohio. In fact, this is so ridiculous, right? All right, so we can't do prop bets in Ohio, player prop bets in college. I tried to Google them just to find out what they were. And Google's AI literally told me in the state of Ohio, prop bets are illegal. I couldn't even see them from the Google AI. They wouldn't show them to me. So I had to talk last night to Kevin Noon, who's up in Michigan at the game, and have him look on his gambling app to get the player props. So here's what we're looking at for the player props. Oh geez. It was on the last screen. I had it here in the notes. Let me see what I got written down here. I might have some from, okay. So Bryce Underwood, we'll start with him. Bryce Underwood, passing yards, 154.5. And his rushing yards, 16.5. So the Vegas has him going well under 200 total yards. And guys, if that's the case, like, this is cooked, right? If that dude doesn't get more than 200 yards, they're done. Curtains for them. They're not. This is obviously their thing. That they've got an issue scoring. If they get behind in this game, they're not equipped to come back. When I look at their offense, the thing that scares me the most, and it's not even a big fear because I feel like Ohio State will be able to deal with it as they dealt with Damon Williams, is the quarterback run third down. What's the most frustrating thing to you when you play a team like this with the quarterback who can move? Is third down, you think you got them bottled up, they're behind the sticks, they're off schedule, and then you get a guy who just continually sneaks out and picks up first downs on third. That drives me insane. He's got the ability to do that. Ohio State's got the X factor to shut that down in Arvell, who totally shut down Damon Williams, who is faster, shiftier, quick as a hiccup. And he did it so thoroughly early in the game against Washington that they basically just gave up on the idea that he was going to try to get out and run. They gave up on it. Can the Buckeyes do the same thing with Bryce? Cage him in, get the pressure from the inside. Caden McDonald cannot be stopped by these guys. He's going to make a lot of plays. I think it's a Caden show. Caden and Caden. Double Cadens for the big-time win. Ton of pressure from those two today. But that kid running, getting out of the pocket, that to me is the thing that concerns me the most with them on offense outside of Andrew Marsh. Andrew Marsh is a bona fide stud. The kid's a stud. He's a stud. He can play. He could play at Ohio State. He'd absolutely probably be the third best wide receiver right now on the team. He's the guy Brian Hartline offered. You know, he's a real deal kind of kid. And you got Jermaine Matthews on him. Jermaine, I think, going to be tested supremely. Will he rise to the challenge? I think he will. I think he will, and I think he'll let everybody know about it. It's going to be great. This actually could be a game for Jermaine that kind of propels him into higher draft stock, and he knows that. And he's got to show up. He's got to show up. And on the other side, you got the huge one, Donovan McCauley. And isn't this just the kind of game where a dude like that, who's kind of been a letdown all season, all of a sudden pops up? Oh, this guy all of a sudden is making catches. You know what I mean? His receiving total, Donovan McCauley, is 32.5. I would take the over on that. Andrew Marsh is only 52.5. I might take the over on both of those, to be honest. I suspect this will be a little bit of a higher scoring game than everybody else. I think that my prediction for the game was 34-14 Buckeyes in the middle of the week. I've tightened that up as we've gotten closer to game day because you just get a little more scared as you get closer. But I think that this might be a little bit higher scoring. We got to keep in mind, this is the best offense Ohio State's faced since Illinois. I don't think that they're just going to the Buckeyes defense going to totally shut them down. I mean, I know that would be great. And they are a great defense, but I don't think it's going to go down like that. I think that they're going to get theirs in a couple of ways, and that's going to be okay because the Buckeyes offense is definitely going to make up for it. Yeah, I'm with you, Tom. Pure stress today. I hate being nervous for this game, but it is what it is. When Stars Aligned woke up feeling like a national champion and a Wolverine Slayer. I love that. Every time I hear that word, Troy Smith just pops into my mind when he does the bull thing, kicking his feet. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. The fist of Woody Hayes woke up feeling the cheesiest coach. That's great. I got you. Julian saying passing yards. Vegas got it set at 234.5. 234.5. What are you taking on that? It's interesting. I mean, it's going to depend on game flow. I've talked about this all week, but the way I see this coming out is Ohio State comes out, and generally in this game, there's this feeling out period, right? We're going to run the first couple of series, and we're just see how the running game's going, right? We're just like two boxers in the ring feeling each other out. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. It almost feels like a wasted possession in a game where possessions are at a premium, because it just never seems to work on the first and second series when they just do this. They do this feeling out period, just run into a brick wall. And I want to see them connected on the short stuff, RPOs, 10, 15-yard routes, those unstoppable little out routes to Carnell and JJ, who are both questionable. They're both playing. We've known all week they're both playing. They're in. They're ready to go. Things are going to be great. They're 100%. Maybe not 100%, but they're going to play 100% because that's how much this game means to them. And I don't want to see a couple wasted possessions running into a brick wall. I want to see them come right off the rip. Bing, bang, boom, bang, bing. Put the heat on them. Take it to them. Take the tempo to them. The biggest fear for me, and we've talked about this all year here on the show, a lot of you guys have been of the mind that Ohio State can snap their fingers, flip the switch, and be able to run tempo. I guess the question is today, do they want to pick up the tempo? Now, what's Michigan's game plan? It's the same thing. Every underdog has a game plan when they're playing against a team with an offense like Ohio State. They want to limit the possessions. They want to run clock. Well, that's how Ohio State's been playing it all year. That's how they've been playing it all year. To get to this point, having played the fewest plays possible, and now they're here. All right, so now do we see them shut that system down? Because they've only been averaging like 8.5 possessions a game. 8.5 possessions a game that's the Michigan strategy to win here. Do we see Ohio State play tempo a couple series to get up to 11 possessions? Why would they want to be up to 11 possessions? Well, because if you have a couple fluke turnovers and you have 11 possessions in the game, it minimizes the impact of those fluky turnovers. Or you have a couple of fluky series on defense, or a busted play, or a busted special teams play. The more series you play, the more shots the Ohio State offense gets, the more it minimizes those fluky things. Now, we have a better team, we have a better coach, all the way down the line. You want to minimize the impact of the things that don't go your way. And you do that by a couple extra series. Are we going to see that today? Now, Ryan Day said just 2 weeks ago, this was the strategy in the beginning. When you look at the overarching view of the season, yeah, we want to limit plays, save plays on the back end. But now it's kind of just become a habit. We're just used to it. It's who we are. We huddle, we take our time, and there's merit to that. And that's great. We're efficient. Efficiency is the number one goal. All great stuff, but 8 possessions, not great stuff. Not in this game. So double-digit possessions, I think, is imperative. Are they, this is a team that's only, I think, had 1 2-minute drill all year. When they want to go fast, will they be able to? I think they will. I think they'll be awesome at it. They also want to stick Michigan with their heavy personnel group and keep it on the field and take advantage of that, because they got some heavy personnel groups. And that, to me, one of the keys to the game. Ohio State, 11 possessions, blowout with 11 possessions, because it means they took advantage of Michigan's heavy personnel, ran tempo, and ran it and passed it down their throat. Bing, bang, boom, done. You got the quarterback to do it. You got the quarterback, by the way. Fernando Mendoza had a bust of a game yesterday against Purdue. Marcel Reed, a bust of a game against Texas. And Julian, if he has a great game today, legitimately, you're going into the Big Ten championship next week with the Heisman Trophy on the line. Number 1, number 2, the Big Ten championship, the Heisman Trophy, all of it. It's all on the line. It's going to be fantastic. So just one more layer to all the fun today that we're about to have here in 1 hour and 4 minutes. So myself, man, I'm looking for some relief. I need some relief. Obviously doing this, it magnifies how much I have to interact with those folks. And it's a terrible deal. It's a terrible deal interacting with them, having this streak go on. They're obnoxious, as we know. They're annoying. As I'm looking at the warm-ups and the guys on the field looking amped up, it does not look like it looked 2 years ago. You guys remember 2 years ago on this field, you had Kyle McCord and Jaden Ballard dancing, and Kyle did the fadeaway, and remember when they were doing their Twitter dancing on the field before the game? That was pretty irritating. King Kovashal, let's go Bucks. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for the super chat. Oh, we're talking flag planting. Yeah, man, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that at all. And I think that this team is too classy to do that. And I've been consistent about that. I was talking about this with Kevin last night on Buckeye Huddle when we were on. So Tom and Tony, matter of fact, I want to play you something from that. So Tom and Tony were waiting for the bus to arrive. And they just happened to bring up, Tony brought up this game and basically kind of perfectly encapsulated this game and what it means in about 1 minute. Just have a listen to this with Tom and Tony last night.
This is something we talk about all year long. We wait for it. And for me, the reason this is different, other than it's a rivalry game, we cover 11 games, and then you cover history.
Yes.
Every year for this game, you're about to watch history. You don't know how it's going to go, but everybody's going to be remembering it for a very long time, and especially for the year that follows. So I think, to me, it's always a privilege and an honor to cover this game, knowing what it means and how long it's going to be remembered.
For sure, because you can go back, pick a year, and I can probably tell you the Ohio State-Michigan score. Could I tell you the score of... I don't know that I could tell you who Ohio State played in non-conference last year with any real high degree of certainty, or certainly without having to stop and think about it. But this game, I can tell you what happened in this game last year. I can tell you what happened in this game 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 30 years ago. I can tell you. You were here 30 years ago.
Yeah,
and that's a game. That's a game you talk about. That's a game you talk about all the time. But this is the game that defines the season for Ohio State, and that's always true. That's always going to be true. I know that with the modern college football playoff, and last year, Ohio State lost this game, won the national championship. This is still, boy, you didn't win that game last year. That's still a topic this week. It's not, everyone's kind of gotten, no one's worried about that because they won the national championship last year. This is still the game that everyone talks about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thought that was just a perfect little conversation, just an impromptu, off the cuff. And it's true, man. I mean, I do an Ohio State show 5 times, 7 times a week now. When you add in the Buckeye Huddle stuff, I can't tell you how many times this game last year has come up. Of course, it was a historical game, but it never stops, man. It never stops, and it never will. And I like it that way. But personally, no, I don't enjoy the day. I don't enjoy the day until it's over. Our man, Mike Green, thank you so much, Mike, for the $4.99. Juck, I'm struggling watching College Game Day. Listen, I'm going to stop you right there. That's the first problem, Mike. I'm struggling. I was watching it earlier. Honest, this is the one day I'll watch it. And Desmond talked about Ohio State's national championship last year with an asterisk because they lost him. He literally had the nerve to say that. And you would think that a former captain at Ohio State who is on the set with him might check him on that. And he said, oh, I don't know about that. Man, that dude drives me nuts. I'm talking about Kirk. Obviously Desmond drives me nuts, but why don't you stand up to this guy's nonsense ever? I don't get it. Moving on, Mike says how they ignore how scum up north didn't cheat to change the rivalry and counting the fake COVID year. Mike, listen, I get it, but the truth is nobody's ever going to recognize that but us. That's just how it's going to be. They're not ever going to recognize it. And the reason is because it's unquantifiable. If the NCAA had a report that said what they did was worth this many points, it would be different. It's just an unquantifiable. It'll never be known exactly how much it affected. And everybody's got different opinions on it. You've heard very smart football people come out on both sides of it and say, well, this didn't affect anything at all. And others say, what are you, insane? Of course it affected. But why do you think we're trying to do this? Why are we trying to steal the signals? Because it's a big benefit to have them. So the point is, they don't care. They're never going to bring it up. And as far as they're concerned, it's been wiped off the history. It's not going to happen. M. Hornet, what's the injury report for the game today on both sides? Saw Tate and JJ were going to go. I mean, they're technically both questionable. And this is a comment that Jenny Taft, All-American girl Jenny Taft. So here's what she had to say. Let me read this from you because, yeah, we're all under the impression that the wide receivers are playing and everything's good. But here's what she said on Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. When we had a conversation with Coach Day yesterday, so she's speaking today, talking about yesterday, he told us they will be available. They practice on Wednesday, but how much they will play, Coach Day even admitting to me he still didn't know, Taft said. Now, this next part, really interesting. He had to have some tough conversations with the training staff yesterday. Now, the Buckeyes do believe they have guys they can step up if these stars are not available. Guys like Captain Brandon Innes, tight end Max Clare is coming off the best game as a Buckeye last weekend. I mean, obviously, Max Clare, yeah, he had his best game. We know this Michigan team has given up a ton of best games of the year to other teams' tight ends. That's certainly, something you can take advantage of. But the complexion of this game is obviously unbelievably different without JJ and Carnell, particularly without JJ, in my opinion. If he's not playing, it's a totally different complexion. I mean, if you can have one, I want him, and I think it's him, who is a little more, look, I'm just concerned when he says this to her, though maybe it's just to throw her off. We had some really tough conversations with the training staff yesterday. I'm thinking, what? I'd love to know what these conversations that were so tough with the training staff were. Quincy Porter not playing, and that becomes a pretty huge deal now, right? Let's say, for instance, Carnell's calf, stiffens up and you got to pull him. That would be Quincy Porter, in my opinion. QP is out again, and that sucks. Mike says, Jermaine Matthews just walked on the field talking smack to their fans and players warming up. I love that guy, man. Isn't he the best? When you look at him and IGB, have you ever had a duo? Have you ever had a cornerback duo at Ohio State that talks like the two of them? I don't think so. I love it. Adam, keeping with the theme here, if we keep saying clean, this game's a blowout. Very well could be. However, there's been some times this year where that's not happened. When we look back to the Wisconsin game, when Phil Daniels gave up 6 pressures in that game. Well, now he's going against better athletes on the edge. That very game, Austin Sirabeld got beat inside twice, gave up 3 pressures. Carson Hinsman gave up a couple. Luke gave up a couple. Like, you look at that Wisconsin game, you look at the Purdue game and the performance of the offensive line in those 2 games. And if I'm Wink Martindale, look, I've got my game plan. I've got better athletes. Here's what we're doing up front. I think we're going to see a whole lot of movement and stunting and twisting up front because this offensive line has not proven that they're great at it. And when we look at the personnel, man, the Tegra situation, I hope for his sake he does not get Julian blown up today, because the noise around Tegra, as we all know, has been so big all year. He's the last guy I want to see screw up today. But I think you're absolutely right. If they keep Julian clean, it's curtains. It's curtains. DB Calling says, Juck, I want to see 49-0 like history with Michigan State from a few years ago. Go Bucks, OHIO. Man, I would love to see it. And we had this conversation yesterday. So let's say Ohio State gets up, gets the jump. Do you want to see them pound them out, run them off their own field? Well, the answer, of course, is hell yeah, you do. But at the expense of what? At the expense of what? You've got, 1 week before a 1-2 Big Ten championship. Now, I know that there are 3 goals every year. This one, the Big Ten championship, the national championship. To me, in order of priority, it goes national championship number 1, then this game number 2, then the Big Ten championship, to me, a kind of a distant third, to be quite honest. So that's true. But this particular Big Ten championship, with this 1-2 matchup, with the Heisman on the line, with the Indiana story, with Signetti's big mouth, this one means a lot to me. And obviously, as much as I would love to add insult to injury in a big time win against these guys, I would I would love more to make sure that everything is running optimally next week. So my thought is there's not going to be, there very well could be a natural, just a normal blowout, just a course of action blowout. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that Bryce Underwood throws a couple picks here and it's just like, third quarter Bucks are cruising. So, it's also very likely it could be close in the third quarter. Who knows? But what I'm saying is if by chance they get up, do they try? Do you look and say, okay, they're putting it on them, right? I think Ryan Day would certainly be tempted to, but I feel like he's going to take the high road this year as we've had the entire year. He doesn't really give a damn what the outside noise is. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. All he cares about, win the game. Just win the game. Richie, thank you so much for the $5, buddy. Pretty sure Day had a tough talk with the medical staff last year, keeping Howard in the game. Somebody missed something, right? Either there was a persuasive talk or they missed the signs. There's no doubt about it. And, Will basically admits it in his, in Bill Rabinowitz's new book that, he was dinged, man. It was apparent, obviously. Yes, he was absolutely dinged. No doubt about it. Woody's, thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Inseparamus says, Juck, I'm genuinely incredibly bummed you aren't streaming the game. Brother, I'll tell you what, man. If you've watched me stream games before, like this one would be nothing like that. It wouldn't, I don't know if you think like me talking through the game is enjoyable. Like I won't be able to focus on the game and talk. It's just, I'm a basket case during this game. I usually stand the whole time, right? I end up standing in front of the TV and pacing around. It's just a different scenario than any other game for me. So I apologize, but I'll tell you what, if things are going well in the second half, like if things are going well at halftime and I'm feeling chill, I'll pop on because why not, right? Why not? That's what we're doing here, right? I was just feeling, feeling like I wanted to just kind of talk through some last thoughts. I'll be damned. Would you look at this? Charles Miller II, watching from West Africa. Go Bucks. How about you, Charles? Go Bucks indeed. Thanks for joining us, brother. We appreciate you letting us know that you are joining us all the way from West Africa. That is awesome. Fantastic. Kevin Barr says, brace yourself for Michigan excuses if they lose. Hey, man, last year they had excuses before the game. They already were getting, all they cared about last year was, hey, going into this game last year, they were saying, we just won the national championship. We don't care. Can you imagine being so content, so satisfied that you won a national championship the year before, that you just say that the whole year when you suck all year long? We won the national championship last year. I don't care about this season. Imagine that. That's why, and I love my man, Dave Biddle. That's my guy. But that's still basking stuff halfway through the season to me. Like, no, man, we're not basking anymore. We're in the midst of a new one here. I'm not basking anymore. That's over. That's history. Still love him, though. Matt thinks Bryce is going to turn the ball over. He has every game. Turns it over 2 times today. We win by a lot. And I'm with you. Ohio State got to win this turnover battle. Can't have any nonsense turnovers. And unfortunately, I think that might mean we see a little more CJ Donaldson than normal. In addition to that, keeping Julian clean. And, yeah, he's the best pass blocker by a lot. The thing is, Julian's so good at hitting his checkdowns. And when he is checking down to Bo, to Isaiah, to Peoples, it's just a different ball game than if he's checking down to CJ. And you lose, you definitely lose some opportunity to get some yards after the catch with the check down to Donaldson, but you pick up some more in the pass protection. That's for sure, as he is a vet and he's bigger and he's just better at it. How much do we see him on the field? It might be in excess of 15, 16, 17 snaps, which would be a lot more usage than we have seen of him. And then when we talk about, Bo, and I've been saying this all year, without a doubt, is a better goal line back than Donaldson. He just is. There's no doubt about it. But Donaldson has been doing better recently, and that's great. Well, we see last week Bo fumble, and now it's pretty much assured that Donaldson going to get those vulture reps on the goal line. That's fine so long as he makes them. If he meets somebody in the hole today against Michigan and doesn't run through them like happened against Ohio, we're going to have a big issue. Kirk got Torg fired from 97.1. F him and his dog. I don't know anything about that. Am I way behind the chat here? I think I am. Sorry, guys. Let me scroll down here. Okay. Sergeant Slaughter says, Max Bredesen was just running onto the field and jumping up and down. Looks like he's a go. Was hoping he'd be out. He's a great blocker. Hey, I don't want any excuses, man. Let's roll. Bredesen's a great player. He is a great fullback. They utilize him perfectly. I'm looking at a lot of scarlet as they pan out here and look at the folks already in the stands. A lot of scarlet. They got Tom Brady in the house today with a ridiculous looking hat on. By the way, anybody see Stanford Steve all decked out in Michigan gear today on game day? Screw you too, pal. You know what I'm saying? Mikey says, Juck, I like the narrative, us winning on the road. It fits our personality. Straight no chasers. Yeah, I'm with you. The road dogs. I love it. Destaller Napster says, I'd love if that Barstool Sports clown would come out and say something to our locker room, piss off our guys. Yeah, that would be good. We talk about bulletin board material. I just feel like these guys don't really care about any of that noise. This Buckeye team, they're so mature. When you listen to Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles, these guys sound like 5-year NFL vets, man. I mean, these dudes are so beyond what we've always known to be college kids. And can you imagine the reaction from the Jordan Marshall comments the other day from a team in 1995, right? Like that would be a big deal. We'd be all fired up. He's calling out our coach. These dudes, they're just so above it. They're so professional. And it's a different brand of college football, right? Like these guys are so much more mature than they used to be. But it's amazing. Beef Supreme Aviation. Hey, Juck, short time viewer, not Ford time commenting. This is the first OSU game I've been able to catch this year. Is there a reason this is the first OSU game you've been able to catch this year? Are you not a Buckeye fan? Appreciate you popping in. Let's have a follow-up on that. King Moss thinks that Peoples will have a good game. That's a good question, actually, guys. Juckeye of the game, I guess. Who is your Juckeye of the game? Your player of the game. So my Juckeye of the game, I'm predicting right now that I think we're going to come out of this and Caden McDonald is going to be my defensive Juckeye of the game. And on offense, it's going to be Julian Sayin, which is boring, of course, I know. But I think he's going to have a game that is going to show the whole country, who many of whom have not watched him since the Texas game. Let's be honest. There's a ton of people that have not watched Julian Sayin. And I feel like they're going to see him for the first time today in a high leverage game, and he's going to show out. So that's who I've got. Caden McDonald on defense, Julian Sayin on offense. Let me know your offensive and defensive players of the game prediction. Dale says, Juck, Thailand much further than West Africa, but that's great. You got worldwide fans. Listen, buddy, look, I know U.S. geography. I don't want to hear all this. Okay, Dale. They both sound really far away. Yes, Charles does prove Ohio State is world-renowned. We got some Filipino Juckeyes as well. I get emails from them. Sergeant Slaughter's a little worried of Teton trying to purposely hurt Sayin, Tate, and Smith. There's no doubt about it, man. You know, we've seen these guys classless act before. They put their hands where they shouldn't go. They try to peel shoes off. They do all sorts of crap like that. And what do we usually see? We usually see somebody who we wouldn't expect, like G. Scott, get a stupid penalty. We were talking last night, and somebody brought up in the chat, there's a couple guys on Ohio State's roster that need to make sure they keep their cool. Phillip Daniels, Jermaine Matthews, IGB, some guys who are a little reactionary, Edric Houston. And that's true. But a lot of times it's a guy we wouldn't expect who pops off and ends up getting in a little ruckus. But you know what? I don't mind a little ruckus. I really don't. I actually kind of love it in this game. I love it when there is a new highlight of a new little fight, new little interaction. It warms my heart. It's the way it should be. I'm not talking about the last year's stuff, but you know, when there's a little David Boston, Charles Woodson scuffle, I wouldn't put it past Jeremiah getting in one of those. I mean, our dude's been in 2 of those already at Illinois and Ohio. If he's already been in those with Illinois and Ohio, if somebody, man, they're showing JJ, Bredesen, and Carnell expected to play on the screen here. And there's a picture, a stock picture of JJ, and his neck is now wider than his head. 2 more years, this dude's going to be just enormous, man. It's so funny. Yeah, Mike stands too. Yeah. It's tough, man. Strayer, love you and Sam's shows, Bucks by 50. Me and Sam got to get a show after this one. As we know, Sam, college football with Sam, my buddy, is a Michigan student and obviously a Michigan fan, but an interesting one is he roots for both programs. Weird as it is, he does. He roots for both programs. Ethan, Paul Brown, Woody Hayes, Jim Tressel, Urban Meyer, Ryan Day. If you were to say that last year, Ethan, let's say this. After the game last year, before the Tennessee game, if you were to say that, just write that, just write it, people would laugh at you so hard. You know what I mean? But he belongs. He absolutely belongs. But this is huge for his legacy. If he wins this game right here, just wins this game, all of a sudden, things start to turn around. He's no longer a guy who's thought of nationally as a guy who can't beat his rival. And it's the one thing on this guy's stellar resume, the resume that's amazing, the winning percentage, he's got already 2 Big Ten championships. He's been to a national championship game. He's won a national championship game. He's been to the playoffs 4 times. The guy has an amazing resume. He doesn't ever choke. His team is always ready to play teams that are lesser than, as we're looking at Julian warm up, doesn't even have sleeves on. Like our dude is a lineman out here, man. He's not even playing with sleeves today. That's a bad dude right there. Look at him. He's bobbing his head. Hey, our boy's ready. Our boy's ready. I love it. I love it. But yeah, man, he belongs with those guys. Got to win today, man. He's got to get this off his back. He's going to. Absolutely. Dustin says, if I'm reading correctly, 13 points or less for the Turds, and this will be the lowest points ever allowed in a 12-game season. Are you serious, Dustin? That's a fantastic nugget there. So we got to hold them to 13 or less to get that record for lowest points allowed. Is that in an Ohio State season? If you're still listening, and you could pop back on and comment that. Kirby can't beat Bama. No one says a word. But Bama's not really Georgia's rival. It's not, you know what I mean? It's true. And people do say that. But again, that's not their rival. it's a modern day rival, but it's not their historical rival. It's just like Georgia fans and Bama fans didn't grow up wanting to beat the other. Like that's not how that went. They were in different sides of the division. They didn't play every year. It's just not a historical rival. Georgia has 3 rivals: Georgia Tech, Florida, and Auburn. Bama's not one. So that whole thing, like, it's not apples to apples. Though it is wild that his record is so bad against Bama. For sure. As it is now, gosh, we've been up here for 45 minutes. It's 11:36. The official countdown, 37 minutes until kick. We've got both teams out on the field, mulling around the 50 as they warm up before they head back into the locker room and then jump back out. Here we go. Joe Chandy, Canton raised, watching from Toronto. Welcome in, Joe. Appreciate you, brother. We got a prediction for Ohio State getting 2 interceptions today. I feel like I'm with you. I feel like we might see 2 interceptions as well. Prime Cheese, anyone happen to catch that Indian Valley versus Glenville game last night? What a ball game. Go Bucks. I did not personally. Honestly, I was, we did a kind of a second Thanksgiving last night, and I was live for a while with Kevin over on Buckeye Huddle while Tom and Tony were waiting for the bus. So the bus got there, they were outside, and then they clicked it to me and Kevin, as Kevin was in the hotel room, and then Tom and Tony talked to Ryan Day, got the snippet of him talking, and he didn't have much to say, maybe like 2 minutes, and then Tom and Tony came back up. But we did a second Thanksgiving last night as we had a second fresh turkey that needed cooked. And my oldest son is in from North Carolina, and today is Jeremiah Smith and my middle son, Carmen Angelo's birthday, both of them. So Jeremiah, Carmi's birthday today. It's a very great day. And Carmi left us and went to Pittsburgh to watch the game with his Pennsylvania buddies who are all Penn State fans instead of watching with his daddy. You know, what are you going to do? Mellowhead, loved Sonny's quote this week, something like, play for the brotherhood, play for the love, don't play for hate. Let's go, Ohio. I'm with you. I like it. I also love hate. I think the hate's the best part, but you know, the hate can be on our side. Sometimes I forget that our mentality doesn't need to be the player's mentality, right? It might not be the most productive. Caleb is in a group Facebook chat with his Teton friends. You know, individually or in a small group, I don't have any problem interacting with them. It's them as a whole, as a mass, and it's the burner accounts. You know, the burner accounts and the just the nonstop every day. I got to deal with these idiots, and I'm sure you guys too. Dale says, Juck buddy, there's way too much blue on your screen. Man, you are right. How is that? So normally I don't do that thing. You know, I don't do a scroll thing. There we go, Dale. Hey, thanks for pointing that out, bro. There we go. We got that fixed, Dale. I apologize. I appreciate you pointing that out. We are all set. Ken Taco Hut is thinking a step ahead here. He is concerned about some home cooking to make this game interesting. You know, I don't know about you guys, but it has felt like the last couple times in this game, calls have not gone our way. Some very big calls have not gone our way. Some little ticky-tack calls have not gone our way. I mean, they're panning the field, man. The fans are starting to starting to get in there in their seats. And I can't believe we're looking at this. I can't believe it's about to happen. I mean, like every year, it's just such an amazing spectacle. It's so cool. There's nothing like this, man. JJ running on the field, screaming and jumping around. He's ready. Tell him, Mike. I've been telling him all week. JJ would not miss this game for the world. You'd have to cut him. You'd have to cut him to keep him off the field. You would. He told us several times how much he hates these guys. And we watched him play this game as a freshman. And we saw, wow, this is a freshman that gets it. Literally. I was the first thing my brother and I think we texted each other at the same time on a play last year, like, holy crap, he really gets it. You could just see the edge, man. And then he comes out this week talking about how I've hated him since I committed. I've hated him since I was in high school. This is a kid that gets it, man. He gets it, and he is ready to torch these dudes. I think we're going to see a JJ game like we saw against Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Mike says the national media is so elementary with their takes. We don't have to run the ball a lot. Are they still on this crap? Portnoy's a moron. You see what he's wearing? He looks like a freaking clown. I did not see him. I'm looking at Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson, too cool for school to wear his school colors on the sideline. That is an enormous man. My gosh. Oh, my gosh. He's wearing his own branded apparel. His hat says Hutch, dude. Come on, bro. You got your own branded apparel. Get out of here with that. Nobody's buying that. Is his jacket a Hutch too? That's embarrassing, bro. Nobody's buying that. Rogan's worried about crucial penalties, unsportsmanlike conduct fouls this year. There's been a lot of them. I think Ryan Day needs to change his play with emotion philosophy. Yeah, I'm all for it, man. I'll take a couple of penalties here and there to play with emotion myself. Happy birthday, Carm. Carmy, if you're watching, happy birthday, kid. Grady Kinsley's a beast. Adam is talking about a small school running back here in the state of Ohio that is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. I think he's going to Air Force because he's an undersized back, but man, is he fun to watch. He's fast. He's got great moves. He's powerful and an all-timer, just an all-timer. Statistically he's crazy to watch. Buckeye Nation, stand up. Indeed, Mark. Thanks for popping in. What's up, Steve? Just dropped my eldest son off for his flight to Anchorage, Alaska, where he got stationed for the Air Force. Now I'm watching the game alone. Well, number one, congratulations and thank you. That is awesome. I mean, honestly, how does he feel about getting posted in Anchorage? That sounds really flipping cool, man. For a short period of time, not a long period of time. A couple of years in Anchorage, yeah, I could deal with that. You know, I just read recently, like, not many people who move out there stay in Alaska. A lot of people go out there and they end up coming back. Ryan Day just walked out with some black Air Forces on, says Caleb. Caleb, your dude here, 46. I don't get the reference. You'll have to explain to me further what that means. If Julian remains calm, all bad for scum, without a doubt. Yes, it's JJ's birthday too. I've got it on, what do I got it on? ESPN? I think I got it on ESPN. Yeah, I'm on ESPN. Mark, thank you so much for the super chat. Mark from WC. Mark, what is WC? Mark from WC with the $4.99 says, remember, not one holding call against our opponents all year. That is factual. Last year, we had one on the season. It's just unbelievable how clean everybody plays against Ohio State. They play Ohio State, and all of a sudden, they respect the brand. They respect the team so much that they don't want to disrespect them by holding. and they never do it. They never hold. It's crazy. Oh, Dave's got Portnoy's got a Wolverine costume on, huh? It's just unbelievable that this guy is I'm surprised he's not wearing Hutch branded gear. That's funny. It's, we talk about these guys, Fox hiring this guy, like just specifically to be a troll to the other Big Ten fan bases. And in some ways you get it, but like trolls like that kind of can move the needle, but it's strange because he represents one of the brands, right? It's just, I think it was just a bad move. I think it was a bad move. I really hope it blows up in their face. Bleeberg says, does anyone know what high school Elvis Gerback went to? He went to St. Joe's. St. Joe's, which is was St. Joe's back then, Cleveland St. Joe's. It's now Villa Angela St. Joe's, as they merged with the girls' Catholic school, similar to my alma mater, St. Vincent St. Mary, which used to just be St. V, now St. Vincent St. Mary. They all merged about the same time. And obviously he played with Desmond Howard, but on this current team, one running back, Bo Jackson from St. Joe's. Watt says Navy could make the playoffs this year. That would be awesome. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Juck, hopefully we can get a big Buckeye win today. Absolutely. Yeah, let's hit the man's like button. I'm with you. Hit the man's button here. Tut1 says, not the Black Forces. See, I'm not getting the reference. Black Forces because it's a funeral. Again, I don't understand it. Okay, here we go. Michael explains it to me. Black Air Forces means he's coming for violence. All right, then. Okay, I like it. Will they shoot the arrow across the field? Man, I hope so. Oh, our guys at Dead Air Sports. This is my man. So I don't know if you guys are following Dead Air Sports. This is my buddies over here. Ron James, my man Q from the Morning Roast, the Buckeye Roast, and Chris Drew. This is their new channel. If you haven't watched it, check it out. As you may or may not know, my buddy Ron James, a massive Brandon Innes fan, and he's had a rough go of it this year, has my guy. He's had a rough go. People have been coming at his boy's neck, and he has held the line. He has held strong for BI. Is today a Brandon Innes legacy game? I would propose to you that Brandon Innes could change the entire narrative around him if he has a big game today. I think it's an interesting thing to point out, Ronnie. A lot of scarlet in that stadium, indeed. What were their picks? Did a bunch of them pick Michigan? Oh, they didn't pick it yet, did they? So here's Steve, my buddy Steve, is one watcher who will not watch Fox anymore with that clown. He refused to watch it all year, and that's what it takes. It takes a boycott from us. Bleeberg says, I knew Chuck was a good Catholic boy growing up. Indeed. I was a Catholic school kid. Chris, thanks for popping in, buddy. Skunk Weasel's going down. Go Bucks. Oh, Brady was talking crap, huh? Tech the Blue. Tech the Blue. Our man with my picture as an avatar. If you put my picture as an avatar, you get a wrench, right? That's an automatic wrench. Unfortunately, it's one where I'm wearing my glasses that everybody makes fun of me with my glasses. Dave Meyer says, I remember in high school we played St. Vincent St. Marian basketball regional in Canton. They had Curtis Wilson, Buckeye point guard, Frank Stams, Notre Dame and NFL player, Ed Taggart, LSU or OSU tight end. Yeah, dude. They've had some squads, man. They've had some really good athletes come through, no doubt. Feeling the nerves now, 20 minutes till kick. I'll tell you what, it has Jerome Lane, hell yeah. Eric from Kokomo with a prediction similar to mine, 35-17. No, Abby's explaining that Air Forces are shoes, Nikes. That I got. I just didn't understand that meant he was coming for violence because they were black. That specifically meant that. So I appreciate you guys joining me here. This is definitely kind of released a lot of my anxiety that I would have had sitting here waiting on this damn game to start, as we just kind of sit here and rap with a massive audience. This is one of our bigger audiences of the last couple months here, as a lot of you guys are apparently feeling the same way as I am. Just kind of wanted to talk it through as we now are down to, let's see, like 23 minutes. About 22 minutes left till game time here. Caleb has 56-10. That would sure be awesome. That would mean Ryan Day absolutely put the pedal to the metal and embarrassed the hell out of him. Dale says, hope we see you after halftime. That means we're having fun. Yeah, it does indeed mean we're having fun. Mike is not going to let this go today. Mike says we need to come out with the Teton cheating documentary. You know what? It's actually not a bad idea. I think that it would really do great numbers, Mike. Maybe we should do that, you and I. Mark with another super chat, Mark from WC, explaining that he is from West Carrollton, south of Dayton. His prediction, 21-13 OSU. Thank you so much, Mark from West Carrollton. Appreciate you. Haven't seen you around. Nice to have you in. Welcome into JUCK'S Studios. 21-13. I like the score, but I'd like it to be a little more. Oh, there's our birthday boy, Carmi, texting dad. He said, thanks, Pops. He's watching. He says, are you going live today? Dude, you're literally watching. What do you mean? I am live. Come on, kid. Chris has been awake since 3 a.m. I had 2 different night sleeps myself. It was a one and then another. And I had to do a radio spot this morning that was really early in the morning. Well, it wasn't really early in the morning, but I have to get up and like be awake and talk for a while before I'm ready to do something like that. So I had to get up earlier than I wanted to. Normally on this day, I try to sleep in because I don't want to wait forever, which is why I don't ever want to see this game at night. It would ruin my whole day. If I had to wait all night or all day long to 7 o'clock for this damn game, it would be a terrible day for me. Ruin the whole day. Bleeberg says, as a Notre Dame fan, I have rosary beads out ready to help. NK says, I know it's a bad time to ask, but possibly any commits after the game. No, I don't think so. There's really, there is one guy potentially working on, there's one everybody knows about, CJ Bronaugh. I don't think he'll be making his decision at least until after Lane Kiffin officially makes it. Well, actually, Florida totally pulled out now. So I think CJ Bronaugh is the cornerback. He's just waiting on to see if Florida makes a hire soon. He doesn't really want to leave Florida. But there still is a possibility there that the Bucks get him. And then there is another flip the Buckeyes are working on as well. That's not really been discussed much. I don't think it'll be coming anytime soon. Jeter was just on Fox begging for wind. Why do they need help? Yeah, they've really been in on the weather this week, haven't they? They're really hoping for weather. Eric thinks Arvell Reese going to spy underpants. If he does, he's not running. I'll tell you that much. Our man Speckmeister took melatonin. My wife gets these melatonin gummies. I got a weakness for gummies. So I eat all the gummies. And man, does that stuff work when you eat all the gummies. I'll tell you that much. 21-13, no good for him. I took OSU minus 9.5. Has to be by at least 10. And I mean, we're all with you, Superman. I just want to win, to be honest. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, man, we got a nasty one in here that's got to go. Ban user and delete comments. Yeah, get the hell out of here, pal. You ain't my kind of guy. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get it and all that jazz, as we are now down to under 20 minutes. Oh, yeah, there's Dave there. He's got his stupid hat on. How could you possibly wear a hat like that? Caleb's 5-year-old niece just said Portnoy is ugly. He is an ugly guy. This is not a very handsome guy. Sacks too good. No, it's probably been mentioned. We win the special teams battle and no missed field goals. But then again, just score touchdowns to keep the kicker on the bench. Absolutely. Adam, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you. Appreciate all your support. What's up, Big E's? Hey, Juck, Saban, Kirk, and Pat picked the Buckeyes. All right, so Saban, Kirk, and Pat picked the Buckeyes. That means Desmond picked Michigan. Are you kidding me? Gary, not happy with Fox. Complete Michigan propaganda. Des and Hutch picked Michigan. Yeah. I mean, I get it with Hutch, right? We would all do the same thing if we were in Hutch's shoes. It's the guy that's supposed to be a professional analyst, which is why I would love to see like you hate a close win because then they can just, talk. I want a resounding win today. Obviously, I just want to win, but a resounding win would feel so much better. At any rate, guys, we are down to 15 minutes, 17 minutes. I am going to go use the restroom, get myself situated, and get my screens all up and ready for all the noon games. I do, of course, appreciate you joining me for the last hour and 8 minutes. I expected this to go on for about 10 minutes. Just pop on and say hello, but here we go. One more comment here, as TM Tanner, who I think might have just recently joined us, K-Mac will single-handedly shut down their run game. Cade McDonald, TM Tanner, is my prediction for my defensive Juckeye of the game. So I am absolutely with you. Buckeye Freak, I hope to see you at half. I hope to see you too, buddy. Like I said, guys, if it's halftime and we're in a state where we're feeling good, we'll pop back on and go live, and we can hang out at halftime. So expect, if things went really well in the first half, that we'll be on one for the second half. We'll reconvene here. If things are really close, I'm just, I'll be standing up over there by the TV pacing just like the rest of you guys. Absolutely, you can include Feinbaum and Mark May. Mark May might get the first spot. Hey, Brutus, closed on a house the day before Thanksgiving. Got to move last minute today, so I'm going to miss most of the game. Terrible to miss the game, but congratulations. Congratulations. It doesn't happen many times in your life. Enjoy yourself, buddy. We will definitely keep you filled in. Tune in to Juck on Bucks. We'll let you know everything that happened, all the ins and outs. Run it up, run it up, run it up. I appreciate you guys, man. I'll catch you soon. Go Bucks.